Nobody is talking about what the Los Angeles Clippers are doing this offseason. I think they have had one of the better offseasons thus far, and their offseason is far from over. Of course, they are in the Bradley Beal mix. Bradley Beal is going to get bought out any day now, and it has been widely speculated that the Clippers are going to be the team who gets him. But you look at what the Clippers have done to this point. They got their backup big man. They made the trade for Collins, which I think is a fantastic move for them. We're going to take a look at what the Clippers have done to this point and what else they can do in the coming days. Do me a solid, guys. Drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel for more Clippers content just like this. We're so close to 40K subscribers. If y'all can help me hit that, that would be greatly appreciated. It is absolutely free. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe, and it does help me a ton. So let's get into what the Clippers did. They started free agency off by bringing in their backup big man, and this is what they needed. The Clippers needed a backup big, and they got a guy who looks like he's going to be one of the best backup bigs in Brook Lopez. I mean, you look at what Brook Lopez is bringing, elite rim protector, and he shoots. He's a range shooter who's going to bring a different dimension to the Clippers front court. He's a former champion, and he's just a professional. He's got that winning mentality. It was a big reason why the Bucks won the championship in 2021. He's going to help this team immensely, and he's immediately going to fill that void where the Clippers didn't have a backup for Zubac last season. They are now going to have one, and Lopez's starter numbers were very strong last season, and he was able to remain healthy. And when Zubac is off the floor, Lopez is going to bring a strong scoring ability and defense to the mix as well. And more importantly, he's just going to keep up that high standard of play at the position. I really like this move for them. Then they made the trade, sending away Norman Powell. And at first, it was confusing because it's like, why did the Clippers just trade away a guy who was on the verge of making the All-Star team? But you look at it, guys, I mean, they weren't going to pay Norman Powell, extend him anyway. And if they do get Bradley Beal, he's going to easily just, fill in and replace that position. And even if they don't get Beal, they have Bogdan Bogdanovic in the short term and his salary to flip in a trade in the longer term. But you look at this trade, who the Clippers are getting back. The Clippers needed a power forward for so many years, and Collins is going to be that guy. And he turns 28 before next season. He was limited to only 40 games with a knee sprain last season, but he played very well for a tanking Jazz team. A little too well for them because the Jazz were clearly trying to lose. Collins, he is an athletic play finisher at the 4, can throw down, spectacular dunk. So already I'm envisioning that tremendous pick and roll with him and Harden. He's going to be the beneficiary of so many Harden lobs. He did struggle with his ball handling and defense, but Collins shot the ball very well from deep last year, which is very promising in this Clippers offense. He made 40% of his threes on 3.7 attempts per game. So if he can maintain that consistency and that accuracy, this is going to be a big get for the Clippers. And again, he just feels like a custom-made fit with Harden. That two-man game is going to be absolutely fun. Of course, we know Harden is an elite pick-and-roll playmaker, and Collins, he can explode from off the ground to finish dunks with ease, finish around the rim, and he also gives the Clippers another bigger player to play in their front court. And that's going to alleviate a lot of the stress and pressure off of Leonard, where he doesn't have to be extra physical now in the regular season because you have another big body there who can take away a lot of that pressure. So I think for the short term at least, because Collins isn't expiring after the season, he's going to slate in nicely to a Clippers team that they are going to be trying to obviously contend. I mean, we saw how good they finished off last season. They came up short against the Nuggets, but this Clippers team, they made good on, the very limited resources that they had. Like, it wasn't projected to be a very busy offseason for them, but the moves that they've made to this point have been very good. And now the guess here for the Clippers is that they are going to sign Bradley Beal to a cheaper deal after he's bought out from the Suns to replace Powell's backcourt scoring. So I think by the Clippers making this move, it was the move before another move they knew they were going to make. So I think that's what the Clippers are going to end up doing with Beal coming into the equation. Again, it seems like it's only a matter of time until that becomes official. The Clippers, they're trying to preserve its 2027 cap space for a big summer. as well. And this is the type of market that can obviously, sign big names. So I think this is a nice move where, you are able to put your team in a competitive spot right now for the short term, especially if a Beal signing happens. But the Clippers, they're still thinking big picture here. They have put themselves in a nice position where they are going to have that financial flexibility in a couple summers from now. So I do really like what they did from that standpoint with this trade. You fill a big need. Yeah, you give up Powell, who's going to be a huge loss, but you're hoping then you can restore that with Beal, who does rejuvenate himself on a cheap deal with the Clippers, and this team can still have a solid chance, which I still think they do have a solid chance to go out there and compete in the loaded West, and you don't screw yourself for the future when you are going to be looking at some bigger names to bring in for the next iteration of this franchise. So right now, you look at the job the Clippers have done this offseason, job well done. You get your backup big man, you pull off a nice trade for Collins, who I think is going to thrive in the system, and you're probably going to get Bradley Beal for next to nothing. So if Beal, I know he hasn't been the player that he once was, but if he could just be a fraction of himself here in LA, that's going to end up filling some of what you lose in Powell. So I think overall, with the Clippers, what they were able to do this offseason has been very good. And once they do get Beal, that's going to complete this rotation, the starting five. You got the depth from off the bench. You got Harden and Kawhi coming off the seasons that they did. Kawhi, the biggest story, of course, was that he actually was able to play for the entirety of that postseason. Although it was short-lived, that is still positive progress made. This Clippers team, they have nice depth. They are now a more balanced team. You got Collins at the 4, Kawhi, next to him. You're going to have Harden, in all likelihood Beal, and then your bench. We'll see if the Clippers even end up with Chris Paul. That could be an option for them at backup point guard, because obviously now you look at their biggest need. They need a backup point guard. And if they do get Beal and Paul, this Clippers rotation is going to look pretty darn good going into the season. There's a lot of excitement about the potential of this. This is a team that can still make noise in the West. And again, you preserve your financial flexibility for 2027. And we all know, there's going to be some big names available that free agency summer. So the Clippers, I think they have really worked the margins here brilliantly, and they have put themselves in a nice position for now and also moving forward, which is, of course, where they want to be in all this. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on these moves. What do you think of the potential of Bradley Beal entering the mix? Leave your thoughts down below, guys. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. That's it for me. It's Luke. Sign off. Thanks for watching. I will catch you all again in the next one.